So good morning, everyone. So as always, we can find ourselves in a comfortable position, setting the body at ease, noticing any areas of tension or places we're holding, and trying our best to just relax those areas. And we can use our breath to breathe into those areas, and as we breathe out, we can release any tension. And the main focus of the morning practice is to set the motivation for the day, so that in the morning we can have a strong intention to be more considerate and kind. And so we can begin to think about how our day might look and the activities we might engage in, and thinking about what our day might look like if we do that, with the main thoughts being thinking of others, thinking instead about the difficulties others might face and how we can help. And then we can bring to mind in the space in front of us a visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha, imagining that the visualization itself is golden and light, and that Shakyamuni Buddha is a fully ordained monk in a full lotus position, with his right hand touching the moon disk and his left hand holding a begging bowl. And even if we just have a rough outline of the image of Buddha, we should try and have a feeling or a conviction that the Buddha is actually there in front of us. We can spend a moment just trying to tune in to what the presence of an enlightened being in front of us might feel like. We can feel the warmth and the kindness and complete compassion that this enlightened being would have for us, without any judgment, complete acceptance, complete stability. And thinking about the qualities of the Buddha's mind we can imagine that rays of light are emitting from him, and that our own bodies are being filled with these rays of light. These light rays work kind of like blessings that begin to fill our body, filling us with these same qualities of compassion and stability. We can spend a few moments just focusing on our body being filled with this light, purifying our minds. We can think that our body is completely filled with this light, and think that our mind is completely purified. We can extend our mind to be more expansive, thinking not just about us, but thinking about all the people around us, the various difficulties that they might experience, and thinking about our neighbors and the lives that they lead in our wider community. Of course, there's external difficulties and internal ones. And just by having the wish, may they be free of these difficulties and these hardships. Or how wonderful would it be if they could be free of the difficulties that they experience as well. We can imagine that with this thought that we have, rays of light are emitted from Shakyamuni Buddha's body again, and that these light rays move to all the people around us, all of our neighbors and wider community, extending it out to the entire world. Even if it's just a visualization, we can imagine that their minds are actually being purified by these white light rays being emitted from the Buddha's body. And all the difficulties and struggles are being washed away. And you can experience some happiness thinking in this way. But of course, that's just a visualization where we're imagining it happening. And to really benefit others and help others be free from suffering, we ourselves need to actually develop our mind to be able to really help people. And so with that motivation, we can begin the morning practice and with the mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha on the first page. Ayata Om Mani Mani Maha Mani So Taya Ta Om Mani Maha Mani So Taya Ta Om Mani Mahamani So before we recite the refuge prayer, we can just think for ourselves about what refuge means to us. And then we can recite the refuge prayer twice in Tibetan and then once in English. Sangye Chadan Sangye Janam La Janju Badu Dani Gyapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gipe Sonam Ge Jola Pinji Sangye Drupa So Sangye Chadan Sangye Janam La Janju Badu Dani Gyapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gipe Sonam Ge Jola Pinji Sange Drupa So. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. And setting our 3 levels of motivation for the day and pausing to reflect on each one. Today, as much as possible, I will harm no living beings with the actions of my body, speech, or mind. And today, as much as possible, I will seek to benefit others in whatever way I can. And today, as much as possible, I will generate bodhicitta. May all the actions of my body, speech, and mind be imbued with this profound motivation. And we can again refresh this image of Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front of us, feeling again this enlightened presence. And it's often said that we should imagine that this visualization and the image of the Buddha, that the Buddha is smiling at us, and that he's pleased that we're engaging in practice, and particularly that we've set a positive motivation to spend our lives helping others. 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 .
。 . 。 .
Some people might know this weekend there's going to be a Nyungne at Jamyang, which is a practice based on 1,000 arm raising, the Buddha of compassion. So with that in mind, I thought it would be appropriate to do the long term raising mantra, which is on page 6. And so we can add to this visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha by imagining that these rays of light emitted from the Buddha now transform into 1,000 arm raising, the Buddha of compassion with 1,000 arms and eyes in each hand, completely able to see all the difficulties and suffering in the world, and completely able to respond to it in the most appropriate way possible. And as we recite the mantra, we can imagine that these same qualities are being brought onto ourselves and all beings, so that all beings can be free of suffering as quickly as possible. Namo Ratnatrayaya Namo Hayajana Sagara Virujana Virajaya Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Namo Savatathagatebe Arahatebe Samyak Sambuddhebe Namo Arya Avalokite Swaraya Bodhisattvaya Mahasafaya Mahakarunika Tayata Om Daradara Diri Diri Durudu Itevate Chale Chale Prachale Pracha Kusume Kusume Varayanime Chitte Jwala Mapana So Dayata Om Dara Dara Diri Diri Duru Itevate Chale Chale Prachale Pracha Kusume Kusume Vara Hilimili Chitte Jwala Mapana So Dayata Om Dara Dara Diri Diri Duru Itevate Chale Chale Prachale Pracha Kusume Kusume Vara Ilimili Chitte Jwala Mapana So Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. You can spend some time to just feel the effect of the mantra. And then in order to dedicate all the positive energy towards the well-being of all sentient beings, we can turn to the dedication prayers on page 8. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into the enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. May I always have the friendship of those whose path is like mine, and with body, words, and also mind may we practice together with the same aspirations and activities. Due to all the merits of the 3 times collected by me and the numberless Buddhas and the numberless sentient beings, may all wars, sickness, famine, torture, poverty, and economic problems in the world, and all dangers of earth, water, fire, and wind be pacified immediately, and may perfect peace and happiness prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. May the Buddha Dharma last for a long time, and may sentient beings in the world meet the Buddha Dharma and achieve enlightenment as quickly as possible. Due to all the past, present, and future merits collected by me, and all the merits of the 3 times collected by the numberless Buddhas and the numberless sentient beings, which are completely empty of existing from their own side, may I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve a state of full enlightenment which is completely empty of existing from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side to that state which is completely empty of existing from its own side, by myself alone, who is completely empty of existing from my own side. And for as long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to help dispel the suffering of my greater beings. Thank you very much, everyone online, for joining us. And sorry about yesterday, there was some microphone problems, so apologies if you tried to tune in and struggled to hear anything. Sorry about that. Hope to see you next week. Thank you.
Lovely bunch. Very much, yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful
I
start
didn't-
to the Monday cake, yeah.
I didn't know that you had come in. Actually, I thought that you were alone, and then you were Jess because I didn't look up. So then it was only when we started singing, it's like Steph's next to me.